Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports that U.S. President Donald Trump has departed for Beijing to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping, where he is set to hold meetings on Thursday and Friday. While Trump's administration has emphasized trade as the primary focus, seeking new business deals and avoiding a return to a tariff war, Trump himself gave conflicting messages regarding the prominence of the U.S.-Israel war on Iran during discussions. He initially stated they would have a long talk about it, and China had been relatively good, but later contradicted himself, saying Iran is one of them, and that the U.S. has Iran very much under control and will win it one way or the other. U.S. officials have pressured China to use its influence to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Other key topics will include China's support for Iran's ballistic and nuclear programs and U.S. arms sales to Taiwan. UPI reports that the United States war against Iran has now reached an estimated cost of $29 billion since its inception on February 29th. Acting Defense Department Comptroller Jules Hurst-Thread informed the House Armed Services Committee on Tuesday that this figure represents a $4 billion increase in just 2 weeks. The surge in costs is attributed to higher expenditures for equipment repair, replacement, and general operational expenses incurred in sustaining operations in the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. Hurst cautioned Congress that pinpointing exact cost estimates is challenging due to the changing and uncertain nature of President Donald Trump's conflict with Iran. The U.S., Iran, and Israel are currently in a de facto stalemate over reopening the vital Strait of Hormuz, with a fragile ceasefire in effect. Doubts about a swift resolution intensified after President Trump brusquely rejected an Iranian response to a preliminary U.S. peace proposal on Sunday. Various unofficial analyses have presented even higher cost estimates ranging from $12 billion in the first 6 days to $72 billion over the first 2 months. According to the Liberty Times, the United States and China have reached a rare consensus, with high-level officials from both nations agreeing to oppose any country levying shipping tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. This development comes ahead of a summit between U.S. President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping scheduled for May 14th, where Iran's control over the vital waterway is expected to be a key agenda item. The U.S. State Department indicated that Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio discussed the matter in April, agreeing that no country or organization should be permitted to charge tolls for passage through international waterways like the Strait of Hormuz. This agreement signals an attempt by the U.S. and China to find common ground to pressure Iran, which has nearly completely closed the strait since a joint U.S.-Israel airstrike on February 28th. Tehran has sought the right to impose tolls as a precondition to end the conflict, a move initially considered by Trump but later rejected by the White House, which now advocates for unconditional free passage. While China has condemned the U.S. blockade, it previously avoided direct mention of tolls. Sources suggest Rubio's overture regarding Chinese vessels potentially paying tolls aimed to encourage Beijing to exert more pressure on Tehran, as China is a major consumer of Iranian oil. China had recently opposed a U.S.-backed UN resolution on protecting commercial shipping in the strait, deeming it biased against Iran, but now seems to align with the U.S. on the toll issue. According to a report from Zio Sabah, citing the BBC, on May 11, the United States has been engaged in regular confidential negotiations with Denmark to significantly expand its military presence in Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. These talks have reportedly made progress in recent months, with U.S. officials seeking to establish 3 new military bases in southern Greenland. The primary objective of these new bases is to enhance the monitoring of potential Russian and Chinese maritime activities in the strategically vital Geocache Gap, the area between Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. This diplomatic effort also seeks to address and defuse the diplomatic crisis sparked by former President Trump's earlier controversial threats in January to acquire Greenland by force. While the White House confirmed high-level talks with Greenland and Denmark, it declined to disclose specific details. Denmark's foreign ministry also confirmed ongoing negotiations regarding additional U.S. military bases in Greenland. In a high-stakes trial in Oakland, California, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman testified that Elon Musk was obsessed with controlling the artificial intelligence company, initially demanding a 90% stake. Musk, who claims OpenAI improperly transitioned from a nonprofit to an $850 billion for-profit entity, seeks to revert its status. Altman countered that the for-profit shift in 2019 was essential to raise the massive funds needed to compete in the costly AI race, defending the company's value creation. He also stated that OpenAI was founded partly to prevent any single individual, regardless of their intentions, from controlling artificial general intelligence, and emphasized Musk walked away after failing to secure majority control. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella also testified, expressing pride in their investment. An advisory jury is expected to reach a verdict by May 18th. This report is from Japan Today. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.